I got the chance to talk about Pro 360 Beets to a group of athletes, basically. And it was a lot of fun for me because I got to talk about sports performance and what makes Pro 360 Beets a top tier sport performance product. Now, this presentation is going to be a little different because the focus for this presentation is really on metabolic health. Metabolic health is probably the single most important concern as far as health. But metabolic health is really the major concern for most people. Because not all of us are out there running miles. Not all of us are out there training all the time. Most people aren't exercising even enough. And as a consequence of lack of exercise and as a consequence of poor diet, we're having more and more poor metabolic health. And it's something that is causing severe problems with our health long term. There's some indicators of metabolic health that we can look at that really define what optimal metabolic health is in terms of specific cardiovascular risk factors. Waist circumference, blood pressure, blood sugar level, blood triglyceride level, and then HDL cholesterol level are the 5 risk factors that are defined as indicative of optimal metabolic health or poor metabolic health. If you have all 5 of these risk factors in the optimal range, then you have optimal metabolic health. And if you have even one of these risk factors outside of healthy range, your risk for long-term disease actually goes up. The great thing about metabolic health is that it is completely within our control. This means for those people that I was speaking to, a week ago, these milers that are out running every day, they have optimal metabolic health in most instances. The people that are out there exercising, eating a healthy diet, really doing everything that they can to optimize their health through lifestyle, they have optimal metabolic health. Most of us, unfortunately, are not doing everything that we can. If we look at metabolic health in Europe, obesity is a major indicator of poor metabolic health. Obesity is basically the first indication, physical, obvious indication of poor metabolic health. And in Europe, 23% of the population is obese. Over half of the population is either obese or pre-obese. So over half of the population is metabolically unhealthy just from a body weight perspective, a BMI perspective. And one of the major outcomes of this is the dramatic rise in things like type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, high triglycerides, metabolic syndrome. If you look at the types of foods that people consume, this is really an indication of poor lifestyle leading to these poor metabolic health outcomes. This graph is interesting because it shows the amount of vegetables, fruits and vegetables that people consume. People are supposed to be consuming 5 or more portions, and yet the average in most of these European countries is in this 1 to 4 portions, and there's some countries that 0 portions of fruits and vegetables is the predominant amount. I would say that Europe does a little better than the US, but it's really not as dramatic as one would expect. Most people throughout Europe, throughout the US, throughout the world are under consuming fruits and vegetables, and this has a dramatic impact on our health. I like this slide because it specifically shows what we are eating instead of fruits and vegetables. If you look at these bars, the gray bars, if it's predominantly gray, it means that we're eating more than recommended. If we're in a blue bar, it means that we're eating less than what's recommended. And if you look at every fruit and vegetable, we underconsume fruits and vegetables, dramatically underconsume fruits and vegetables. And this one is in the US, but I think it holds true in Europe as well. The thing that we overconsume, the thing that we eat a lot of, is refined grains. These are the processed foods that when you go to the grocery store, almost every aisle of the grocery store, other than the produce section, contains processed grains, refined grains, grains where we're getting large amounts of carbohydrates, but almost no fiber, almost no nutrients, almost no phytonutrients. Nothing that's healthy from the plants is getting into our diet predominantly. And this is one of the main reasons why in the last 50 or so years, 60 years, there's been a major trend towards increasing obesity, increasing levels of things like type 2 diabetes, increasing levels of things like cardiovascular disease, all tied to poor metabolic health because of poor exercise and poor dietary choices. If you look at this picture, it kind of represents what we are becoming as a nation. We spend a lot of time sitting down in front of our computer. We spend a lot of time at home sitting in front of a TV. We spend a lot of time sitting and playing on our phones, and we're just not moving enough. This chronic sedentary behavior is one of the worst things that we can be doing for our health. Even if we exercise on a regular basis, if we spend significant amount of time sitting still, sitting in one spot, we stagnate. Hours and hours sitting in front of our computer or in front of the TV or with our phone cause our bodies to slow down, cause major changes in our body to where we become less healthy metabolically. It's gotten to the point where in the literature, they're now saying sitting is the new smoking because chronic sedentary behavior leads to such poor health outcomes. Pro 360 Performance Beets it's part of the Pro 360 line. The entire line is targeted towards improving metabolic health, really through using whole food, nutrient-dense products. We're answering lifestyle problems. We've talked about Pro 360 Greens. That's really answering a lot of the nutrient density food options that we should be consuming in order to have a healthier lifestyle. Pro 360 Beets is targeted specifically towards counteracting this type of sedentary behavior. The core components of Pro 360 Beets, Performance Beets, red beetroot. The red beetroot is kind of the key overall ingredient. That's where we get the name from. Performance Beets is more than just beets. Our beets are top of the line. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Performance Beets contains a blend of phytonutrients: green coffee, green tea, turmeric, blueberry, broccoli, tart cherry, kale, apple fruit extract, green tea extract. All of these whole foods, all of these extracts, all of these powerful phytonutrients work synergistically with the beetroot and these energy supporting micronutrients, the B vitamins, the methylfolate, the methyl B12, the magnesium, in order to help us have more energy, in order to help enhance our blood flow, in order to help us just feel better, and in order to help us live better. So we're going to talk a little bit about this standardized beetroot powder because it's a really unique ingredient. Getting a beetroot powder that is standardized to nitrates is actually quite difficult. Most of the time, if I'm going to get a standardized beetroot ingredient, it's going to be a beetroot juice extract. They take the beet, they juice it, and they concentrate that juice to contain more nitrates. You can get a beet juice powder that's standardized to or beet juice extract, that's standardized to 2% nitrates. And this beet juice extract will contain mostly nitrates and sugar and maybe a couple of vitamins. Beetroot powder is different. It contains all of the fiber, all of the phytonutrients that are in the beet. So we really wanted to use whole beetroot powder to stay with the theme of whole food nutrition that the Pro 360 line is all about. So we looked all over the world to try and find the best beetroot powder that we could find. And we ended up finding a beetroot powder that grows in the mountains in Tibet. Grows at around 13,000 feet elevation in a village called Chiang Mai. Because it's grown at high elevation, because it experiences extremes in temperature, because it experiences extremes in terms of UV light, it actually has to create increased amounts of phytonutrient to protect itself from its environment. Our beets contain high amounts of nitrates, 2% nitrates, and also higher amounts of other phytonutrients to help give us the best health benefit possible from a beetroot. And why is dietary nitrates so important? The reason why we're concerned about dietary nitrates is because when I consume dietary nitrates, there's a process that converts them into nitric oxide. And nitric oxide is the most important signaling molecule for my endothelium, for signaling my arteries to expand and to contract, to dilate or to contract. This dilation process is directly related to blood flow. if I have increased nitric oxide, the muscles in my arteries actually relax, and that allows more blood to flow through my arteries. It tends to decrease blood pressure as well. And just that increase in blood flow changes signaling in my body so that I have changed gene expression. One of the important things about nitrates and nitric oxide, and I really want to hit this hard because this is not necessarily an anti-aging product per se, but one of the reasons why we start to lack energy as we age is because as we age, we tend to reduce our nitric oxide levels in our body, such that by the time we're 40 to 45 years old, we only have about 50% of the nitric oxide that we had when we were a teenager. This can be changed by having a healthy diet. Basically, people that are consuming a lot of vegetables will tend to have higher nitric oxide levels because they're consuming more dietary nitrates. A product like Pro360 Performance Beets contains very high amounts of dietary nitrates, more than you would get from typical fruits and vegetables. And that allows for maintenance of nitric oxide levels within our body at high levels like we had when we were teenagers. So we have more energy, we feel better. Now, I want to tie this also to exercise and metabolic health. When I was speaking to this group of athletes that I spoke to last week, I talked specifically about sport performance because there is a role that nitric oxide and blood flow plays in sport performance. It increases the amount of blood flow, which allows for better oxygen to our body while we're exercising. It allows for removal of metabolic waste products so that our muscles don't fail. For your average person, that's less important than what dietary nitrates and nitric oxide can do for our metabolic health. One of the key things about nitric oxide and about enhancing blood flow on a regular basis is it almost mimics exercise. One of the main benefits that I'm getting from exercise when I'm going to the gym and I'm doing cardio is this increase in blood flow. There's there's a force called shear stress. Shear stress is a term that's used by people in fluid dynamics. It's basically the force that a liquid flowing through a pipe causes on the walls of that pipe. It's very similar. When I was a kid, I used to do a lot of science experiments, and you take two pieces of paper, you blow in between them. They don't push out, they actually suck in. And this is because of the decreased pressure as I'm blowing through the two pieces of paper. It's very similar to what happens as blood's flowing through. It creates a force on the walls of my arteries. And there are sensors on the walls of my arteries that are triggered when this shear stress happens. And that totally changes my health. That totally changes my gene expression such that I have better endothelial health. It actually helps with the alignment of the cells in my endothelium. It helps with maintaining control over a process called angiogenesis, which is blood vessel formation. Just by modulating my blood flow, just by increasing my blood flow, I'm actually getting some of the benefits of exercise without having to go to the gym. And that's one of the most powerful things about Pro360 Beets, Performance Beets. In terms of metabolic health, most people aren't exercising as much as we should. Most people are spending too much time sedentary. We're answering that piece of the puzzle. We're giving you a helping hand in terms of your lifestyle, in terms of the exercise that you're not doing. Absolutely, we should be exercising. I exercise every day, but I'm still taking my Performance Beets because I'm spending a lot of time sitting at my desk. It's hard to remember to get up all the time. It's hard to remember to take a break from sitting every hour. I get busy. I have too many things going on. So I spend a lot of time sitting down. I take my Performance Beets and it counteracts that. It blocks some of those negative health effects. I mentioned the type of beets that we have, these Himalayan beets. One of the first questions that I got with Performance Beets was, okay, beets are healthy. Why don't I just go to the grocery store and buy beets? I was in Poland for the launch of Performance Beets in Poland. I had beets for breakfast every morning. I was still taking my beet product. I was still taking my Performance Beets because there's such a dramatic difference in phytonutrient composition between Performance Beets and anything that I'm going to be getting from the grocery store. Because the food in the grocery store, it's not grown for health. It's grown for profit, basically. People want to make money. They're getting whatever they can grow as cheaply and as easily as possible to have something that tastes good enough that they can sell. They're not concerned about phytonutrient composition. They don't care about nitrates in their beets. And when we actually measured the nitrate composition, or the nitrate content of organic grocery store beets versus our Himalayan beets, it's not even a contest. I mean, they're barely even able to be on the same scale. It's such a dramatic difference. And if you compare just our beets, just our Himalayan beets, to your average product that's on the market, your average bulk supplement beet powder or your average beet product on the market, we have significantly more nitrates in our beets than any of these other products. One of the important things about Pro 360 beets, I mentioned this before, it almost frustrates me that we call it performance beets because it's so much more than a beetroot powder. This is really a whole food powder, a blend of many different ingredients working together to give you the best effect possible as far as blood flow. And that's really what we're focused on with this product is blood flow. If you look at this antioxidant blend, this S7 proprietary blend, the green tea, green coffee, blueberry, kale, turmeric, broccoli, and tart cherry, this was formulated specifically to enhance nitric oxide levels in the body. And we get questions a lot, partly we get questions because people feel so much energy when they're taking this product. They say, well, it has green coffee, green tea, it must have caffeine, because I feel like I've had caffeine. I feel so much energy. But these are decaffeinated extracts. The green coffee is standardized to chlorogenic acids. Doesn't have anything to do with caffeine. The caffeine's been removed. The green tea is standardized to polyphenols. Again, the caffeine has been removed. The entire Performance Beets product contains less caffeine than a square of chocolate. So it has almost no caffeine. You're getting energy because of the enhanced blood flow. I mentioned that S7, this blend of ingredients, was formulated to increase nitric oxide levels. And in the studies that were done, nitric oxide levels with just S7 on its own were increased by 230%. You have basically the best beets that you can possibly get, plus you have this S7 blend. You get a dramatic increase in nitric oxide levels. This dramatic increase is incredibly efficacious. It causes, within about 15, 20 minutes, you can actually start to feel the effects of the enhanced blood flow. Another piece of this formula is the phytonutrient blend, aside from the other phytonutrients that were specifically designed to enhance blood flow. We were looking at a specific antioxidant effect that we wanted to have. If you look at your average person, they have high levels of oxidative stress. And this is mostly caused by poor diet. We consume a lot of sugars and things like that. We're eating a lot of oxidative foods, foods that cause oxidative stress, foods that cause inflammation, things like that. And because of the high levels of oxidative stress that the average person has in their body, nitric oxide is transient. It's very short lasting. Nitric oxide is a molecule that can be oxidized very easily. So if you have high levels of oxidative stress in your body, then the nitric oxide is going to be consumed very rapidly. It's going to react. So we want it to be able to lower oxidative stress. We have a patent in the Hughes Center on this specific blend of phytonutrients called PC4 that shows synergistic antioxidant effect. That synergism is a word that is used too much, in all honesty. It actually has a meaning. It means that the effect is more than just additive. If I have 1 + 1 + 1, it doesn't equal 3, it equals 10. That's synergy. There's a difference between synergy and additive effect. And we were actually able to demonstrate synergy with this blend. And because of that, we were able to patent this blend, and it's a patent that we own that's unique to us. This is the science that we used in the Hughes Center to demonstrate the synergistic effect of the PC4 blend. And if you look, the PC4 contains apple fruit, green tea, grapeseed, and olive. If you combine the separate antioxidant potential of each one of these ingredients, you get the bar that's on the left, the multicolored bar on the left. That's the additive effect. The gray bar on the right, that is the synergistic effect that's actually observed by this PC4 blend. So again, demonstrated synergy, works as an antioxidant. And it's not just that we want to throw an antioxidant into every product. This is specifically there to help the effect of this product, to prolong the effect of this product, to make it work even better. The micronutrients. Oftentimes, people will throw in a multivitamin to virtually every product. We wanted to avoid doing that, to focus on the best quality vitamins that we could be putting in, and to focus on targeted vitamins in this product. These vitamins are all targeted around energy production. They're all targeted around what's called the Krebs cycle, which is a cycle in which your body produces ATP from the fuel that you eat. They're all necessary for energy production. When you consume these vitamins in excess to what you'd be normally getting from your food, you can actually feel the effect as far as energy goes. That's why almost every energy drink on the market, 5-Hour Energy, Rockstar, Monster, all of these contain B vitamins because they give you energy. And the reason why they're in this product is because they're working with your body to produce more energy. With that enhanced blood flow, it gives you a product that you can really feel working without consuming caffeine. So I will take this product in the afternoon and I'll combine it actually with my performance greens. And I really get this huge pick-me-up effect in the afternoon. This is just talking about the micronutrients and demonstrates what the Krebs cycle actually looks like. The combination of ingredients in Pro 360 Performance Beets, that's really what I want to talk about. And yes, this product works great in the morning. I take it in the afternoon because I get tired in the afternoon at work sometimes and I have to be on my game. I also take it specifically before I exercise. The micronutrients, the combination of phytonutrients, nitric oxide, or the nitrates from the beets converting into nitric oxide gives this product something that is truly unique. This product was built in a way that outperforms any other blood flow enhancing product on the market. When we're comparing performance beets to the leading competitor, one of the things that we noticed is if you use a beet juice extract, there's virtually nothing in this product in terms of nutrition, in terms of polyphenols, in terms of phytonutrients. And we wanted to be able to demonstrate that so that people could see this product isn't just a beet juice product. It's not just about the nitrates. It is about the entire story, all these multiple mechanisms of action, improving your health, enhancing your blood flow. And this one single image shows the number of peaks that are basically polyphenols compared to your leading competitor, which has almost no peaks. It has almost no polyphenol content. So there's a dramatic increase in polyphenols in performance beets because it's a whole food product. That's really one of the key differences. If there's nothing else that you take away from this webinar, keep in mind that performance beets is a whole food beet product. It is a whole food multi-mechanism product to enhance blood flow. And that enhanced blood flow is all about improving your metabolic health through changing signaling mechanisms within our cardiovascular system. I love this slide because this shows the power of the product. It really does. And this is a study that I was involved in. I actually sat in the lab and I did this study. About 15 minutes after I take the product, you can see that my fingers are cold. This is a thermal imaging camera. And that's when the product really starts to kick in. And then from 15 minutes to 60 minutes, we can actually see my hand start to warm up, such that at 60 minutes, my hand is about 4 degrees Celsius warmer than it was at 15 minutes. The reason this is happening is because my body, my internal temperature stays pretty constant, about 37-ish degrees Celsius. My fingertips are far away from the inside of my body. My fingertips get cold because blood flow from the inside of my body to my fingertips is not very good in many, many, many people. By enhancing blood flow, by dilating those blood vessels in my fingers, I'm basically pulling warm blood from my core into my fingers. And this is a visualization of how powerful this product is. And as you're sitting there in a room, and I invite you guys to do this because you can actually feel it. Sit in a room with a constant temperature, you'll feel your hands start to warm up. Your fingers will actually start to kind of tingle. You can feel this product working in a way that you will never experience from another a beet product that is a beet product on its own. So Pro 360 Performance Beets, it's entirely different from other products that are on the market. It's a combination of multiple different ingredients that really work together to support circulation, support mood. And there's even some gut microbiome supporting ingredients in this product. I didn't mention these ingredients. Oftentimes when you're manufacturing a product, you have to add additional ingredients to make sure the product doesn't stick, to make sure it flows, things like that. Most of the time, companies will add things like maltodextrin or maybe magnesium stearate, things like that, that add lubrication and flowability. We really want to try and make our products as clean as possible. So rather than putting in maltodextrin, we put in a blend of fibers that are fermentable probiotic fibers, fructooligosaccharides. It's not something that we were doing because they play a huge role in terms of the function of the product, in terms of the energy, in terms of the blood flow. It's just about overall health. We're giving you a better product that's going to be healthier, and we want to include healthy ingredients across the board. We put in FOS as a flow agent in this product that also has significant health benefits in terms of its prebiotic effect, its ability to support a healthy microbiome. This is a product that really, truly you can feel when you take it. And I invite you to compare it to other products on the market. You take it, they'll support circulation some. Every one of them has some nitric oxide in them, or that has dietary nitrates in them that gets converted to nitric oxide. But I don't think that there's any other product that you're going to feel immediately the way that you feel Performance Beets. The ingredients in Performance Beets, this is really a big deal. The effort that we put into sourcing the best ingredients containing high quantities of phytonutrients, containing high quantities of dietary nitrates in whole food format, as opposed to a juice extract. And we all know that juice isn't as good as whole food. I mean, orange juice versus an orange. You should eat the orange every time. Beet juice versus a whole beet. You should eat the beet every time. It's the same concept. Just to kind of sum things up, Pro360 Performance Beets has at least 3 times the beetroot power of the leading competitor. And when I say beetroot power, I basically mean the amount of dietary nitrates in the beet. In our Performance Beets, our Himalayan beets, versus the beetroot powder or beetroot juice powder that you're getting in your other average competitor product. Thank you very much for your time and attention. That is it. There was one question that we got while I was talking that I wanted to respond to. And it was a question about Pro-arginine versus Pro360 Performance Beets, because they are a similar product in a way. They're similar as far as kind of the end goal of the product. They both give you energy. They both enhance blood flow. Mechanistically, they do it in a very, very different way. Pro-arginine it's all about enhancing your body's ability to produce nitric oxide through a specific pathway called the endothelial nitric oxide synthase pathway. It uses arginine and citrulline to create nitric oxide. This process is a process that really trains your body to be able to produce more nitric oxide on a regular basis. If I look at somebody who consumes Pro-arginine on a regular basis, their gene expression is going to be different than somebody who has never had Pro-arginine before, because their body has been to activate the endothelial nitric oxide synthase pathway. If I take Power Beets every day or Pro360 Performance Beets every day, it is not necessarily training my body in the same way. It's giving me endogenous nitrates that I convert to nitric oxide. It's more of a direct addition. It's kind of like the difference between probiotics and prebiotics. Probiotics are very healthy. It's a direct addition of bacteria that immediately I get an effect from. Prebiotics are things like dietary fiber that help build my microbiome up through slow changes that make it overall more healthy. If I'm taking Pro-arginine, I'm actually getting an immediate effect, but I'm also building my body up to be better at producing nitric oxide. By taking Pro360 Performance Beets, I'm having an immediate effect that's very, very strong, arguably stronger than Pro-arginine, but I'm not really building up my body in the same way. I really like to take these two products together. When I take them together, that's what I do for my pre-workout. I'm a competitive powerlifter. I used to be a competitive powerlifter. Now I'm too old for that, but I still lift heavy. I still do exercise. And this is my pre-workout. I don't like to take a lot of caffeine for my pre-workout because I work out at night. So I mix Pro-arginine and Performance Beets. I get an amazing effect from the combination of the two. It works better than anything else that I've tried. Were there any other questions? I saw a couple other come up.
There's one that I see that it says, what would be the best way to mix it with E9?
To mix it with E9?
Yes.
I have mixed it with E9 before. If I'm exercising in the morning, then it's a common thing for me to do to mix it with E9. Caffeine is actually a great sports performance enhancer. It's great for, getting up in the morning. I'd rather have E9 than coffee any day. E9 is much better than coffee. So I mix my beets. If I'm doing it in the morning and I'm not working out that day, or if I'm working out in the morning, I'll mix E9 with my beets. Yeah, you just mix them together. It tastes good together. I like to mix together. There was another question about the immune booster and Pro360 Performance Beets. You can mix the immune booster with Pro360 Performance Beets. A lot of what the immune booster does, it works on its own, but it works better with the enhanced blood flow effect. One thing that Pro-arginine does that the Performance Beets does not do, that makes it actually superior as far as the immune boost effect, is there's other pathways in my body that rely on nitric oxide synthase. There's what's called INOS. ENOS is the endothelial nitric oxide synthase. That's the one that enhances blood flow. But there's INOS, which is an immune-based nitric oxide synthase that Pro-arginine can also help activate, is used to create nitric oxide at really high concentrations to actually kill things like bacteria or viruses in the body. That's my first pass. My innate immune system utilizes nitric oxide as a weapon. And if I'm taking Pro-arginine on a regular basis and I'm combining it, especially with the immune booster, I'm going to get a much greater effect as far as my innate immune system goes. There'll still be good benefit if I take my immune booster with Pro360 Performance Beets. But if I'm taking it with Pro-arginine, it's probably going to be a little bit better.
I see another question that says, if you will feel the benefit if you're over 65, and if due to manual labor, you can't exercise or eat well regularly.
You say that one again?
Yes.
If you're over 65, can you take it? That was the first part?
Yeah, it's a person that because of his job, he can't exercise or eat well regularly. So he still will feel the benefits of the product.
Most people have reasons why they can't exercise on a regular basis or eat healthy on a regular basis. These are the people that a product like Performance Beets is for. Most people have things that get in the way. And if I'm taking Performance Beets on a regular basis, I'm going to get the benefits from Performance Beets. In all honesty, while it hasn't been, studied specifically for the age group of over 65, that I would highly recommend it for people in that older age group, because of that chart that we showed earlier, that graph that we showed earlier. One of the problems with aging is we lose nitric oxide over time. If you're over 65, your nitric oxide levels could be, less than 20% of what they were when you were a teenager. If you're taking Performance Beets, you're going to bring it right back up, and it's going to have an immense effect on how you feel on a regular basis.
Amazing. Thank you. Any more questions? I see how much magnesium is in the product.
I don't remember off the top of my head. It's not a huge amount of magnesium. I think it's between 80 and 100 milligrams. And the reason is because we get a lot of magnesium, and we don't want people to start having digestive upset from the magnesium that's in the product. We want it to be enough to supplement what you need, but not provide a full daily serving of magnesium. Now, we had a couple of questions from John Burgess as well that I want to answer. When I take Performance Beets before I exercise, I usually take it about a half an hour before I exercise. If I look at the clinical results that we had, the preclinical results that we had, the internal studies that we did, we can actually see the nitric oxide levels peak at around 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes after we consume the product. And then because of the different antioxidants that are in this product, and because of the multiple mechanisms of action, we get a very slow decrease in nitric oxide. Normally, if it was just a beet product, you get a peak and then it comes right back down. Performance beets actually last for like 4 or 5 hours before it comes back down. And even after that 4 or 5 hours, we never saw it come down to baseline to where it would be before you took the product. It just slowly tapers off, and it may last 6 to 8 hours. We didn't test long enough to see. We didn't expect it to be lasting after 4 hours. So it's probably around 6 to 8 hours that it's going to be high.
I saw one that said, how many times a day should you take it?
I actually generally take mine twice a day. For me, I'm lucky. I have it in the break room because I work at the Hughes Center, and I don't have to pay for it, which makes it really convenient and easy. So I actually do take it in the morning, and then I also take it again in the afternoon or before I work out. I've seen some amazing effects from this product as far as improvements in my blood pressure in particular. And I am very much sold on this product. I think as far as cardiovascular health, this is truly a premier product. So I take mine twice a day. Once a day is enough to get the benefit. All of the preclinical studies that we did were done with once a day, but I love it. I think it tastes amazing, and I have the opportunity to consume it for free, so I consume it twice a day. Thank you.